In a previous video, we had discussed about the Arizona age verification bill that has been vetoed by the governor of the state, Katie Hobbs. And I mentioned that, the end game, a lot of these groups, these politicians that are looking to censor the internet, and they say they disguise it and saying like, oh, we're trying to save people from pornography, it's unhealthful, it's that basically, that it causes mental illness and all these other health issues. But the thing about it is, most of this stuff that they preach out is not proper. There have been many different articles out there done by psychologists and people in the medical field that says that they're totally wrong, that they're using these how can I put this? These cliff note articles, because basically they pick and choose from these research papers that, oh, look, it's this is what this person says, and this is what, but if you read further down, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that it's in this direction, but it's not what's happening. And you had one psychiatrist out there says, listen, that's what they're using to get what they want. And in an article from XBiz, the Heritage Foundation, who's throwing up the flags, is celebrating that the age verification law in Georgia will have a chilling effect on adult free speech. They're okay with that. You have to understand, they're okay with censoring the internet, not just for children, but for adults as well. And this is where you get to the point where the scary point of the 1984, all these other books on there, they're basically that, here are groups that want to take away your First Amendment rights. Let's read portions of this. This is from XBiz. It's part of an op-ed that was penned by Annie Chestnut Tudor, who was a policy analyst at the Heritage Foundation. Influence think tank The Heritage Foundation produced an op-ed endorsing the Georgia version of the age verification bill, sponsored around the country by anti-porn religious conservative activists, and celebrating the success in also preventing adults from accessing illegal First Amendment protected pornography content. The op-ed was penned by Annie Chestnut Tudor, a policy analyst at the Heritage Foundation's Tech Policy Center, for publication in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It was also posted on the Heritage Foundation website. HB 910 is a Georgia copyright version of the age verification bills, being sponsored around the country by anti-porn religious conservative activists. Chestnut Tudor's article urges Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp to sign the bill into law. Let's hope he goes in the direction of Katie Hobbs. As XBiz reported, HB 910 was introduced by veteran Republican Rick Jaspers in February and would require websites publishing what the law defines as material harmful to minors, including pornography, to verify the age of all users. Understand, they say all users. HB 910 was passed by the Georgia legislature. According to the Heritage Foundation analysts, requiring age verification on porn websites will not prevent social media users from seeking this content on social media platforms, but it will place roadblocks for children who click these links on social media and other websites. No, it won't. Kids will get around this. Kids are smart about this. Like I said, education in the home. Parents need to educate their children on what they're clicking on when they're on the internet. And if they're younger than 13, there are tablets out there and phones specifically made for children if you happen to give one. I mean, honestly, little kids should not have phones. Tablets are okay because from an education point of view, and there are tablets geared for children. Companies like Amazon and many others have put those out. Let's move on. However, Chestnut Tudor also celebrated another effect of these laws one that has nothing to do with minors. For those of you like me who are troubled by the harms of pornography for any age, she writes, take the rest in the fact that traffic to Pornhub has dropped 80% in Louisiana after the law went into effect. Incorrect. Incorrect. It has dropped, but it hasn't stopped anyone from Louisiana accessing it.
Kids, it's called a VPN. Just pretend like you're out in Canada. It'll be just fine.
Okay, it's called a VPN, Chestnut Tutor, and that's what happened. They always keep pushing to Louisiana. Notice they don't talk about Texas, because there was an article about Texas that they said there was a 400% spike on there. And guaranteed, Louisiana had a major spike as well. The Heritage Foundation leads Project 2025, a coalition of conservative organizations whose roadmap for the next Republican presidential administration includes a call to immediately outlaw all pornography and imprison people who produce and distribute it. See, this is the laws that were prior, the obscenity rules prior to the 1970s. Let me ask you this question, and I'm going to put this bluntly for you. What do you consider adult content? What do you consider pornography? And I'll tell you this straight out. What these people consider pornography is also in R-rated movies, NC-17 movies, magazine covers like Cosmopolitan, Maxim, Sports Illustrated Bikini Edition. They consider all that pornography. Do you consider that pornography? Artwork throughout the world, they would consider. I mean, there used to be a time when Mapplethorpe, if you remember Mapplethorpe and how controversial Mapplethorpe was, people were calling it pornography at certain points. Some of it, yeah, it was over the edge. A lot of it was a lot of nude photography. There's nothing wrong with nude photography. You know, there's many different art styles on that kind of photography that's put into museums. You know, the art museums on there, that's beautifully done. The body is a beautiful thing. You know, they have no problem when it comes to Lizzo showing her booty out there, but when it is a good-looking woman that basically has a great body size and beautiful and stuff like that, and they're like, no, it's pornography. You know, look at what they praise and look what they chastise. Remember that. And the same thing with men. Understand this. They'll chastise the women when it comes to the porn industry, when it comes to sexy photos, but when it comes to even advertisement, and when it comes to the men, they have no problem with that. Continuing on, the introduction of Project 2025's Mandate for Leadership Blueprint document declares that pornography has no claim to First Amendment protection and should be outlawed. I would disagree on that, because there is a Supreme Court decision back when the Hays Code was active, and that basically would be effective in this as well. The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. The document continues. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classified as registered sex offenders, and telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate it should be shuttered. Now, I'm going to ask this dumb question. When they talk public librarians, what does that sound like to you? It's like, do you remember that scene in Music Man where the mayor's wife was chastising the librarian about the poems of,
Is this the sort of book you give my daughter to read? This ruby hat of Omar Khayyam? I am appalled.
I did recommend it. It's beautiful Persian poetry.
It's dirty Persian poetry.
These are the things that they want to also remove from libraries. These are the things that they consider, the same thing with Ladies' Chatterley Lover and many others. These are the things that they just don't want. They want to remove from, the libraries. They want to remove it from from you buying these things. They want to shutter these things down. They want to arrest the people who write these things, who produce these things on there. In regards to the recent decision by the Fifth U.S. Court of Appeals about Texas' highly controversial age verification law, HB 1181, Chestnut's Twitter article is misleading. In a mixed decision, the appeals court overturned the lowest court injunction against the enforcement of the Texas law in March, but struck down the provisional that mandate that adult websites post a health warning perpetuating religious anti-porn propaganda myths. And that's true. These things that they're saying, it's not based on fact. It's based on what people believe themselves, that is true, and it's not true. They're myths. The Heritage Foundation analyst disregards the complexity of that decision, stating instead that the Fifth Circuit upheld Texas law that requires age verification on pornography websites, calling it a victory for advocates for age verification, concerned parents, and of course children. More important, it clears the way for other states, including Georgia, to enforce similar legislation. No, this is going to go to SCOTUS. This will go to SCOTUS. Arizona has already banned it, and there's several other places that have banned it. It's losing in certain places. And the thing about it is that the FSC, the ACLU, and many other organizations are going to the courts. Right now, I know they're trying to push SCOTUS to hear this right now. And, when you have groups like the Heritage Foundation, Morality in Media, and many others that they say, well, we want this to happen. That's not what our forefathers wanted. They basically, they didn't put to words in the First Amendment protection that, hey, you can have all this, but there's no but in any of this. It's either you have it all or don't have it at all, any of it at all. That's the situation. And you see this happening like I said, throughout the world. The United Kingdom, recently Brazil. Look what Brazil wants to do. They're going after Elon Musk and what they want to do. They don't like some of the, what people are saying on X. They don't like, well, they have the right to say it. They have the right to say it. If you don't want, you could block X in your country. If you're in another country, you could block X. But the people in that country will use VPNs to access X. They have the right to do that. That technology is out there. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts about this. Think hard on this, because this is very important on there. This is what we're talking about. This is exactly, because they want to go into the, when they say, they're having a book burning or they a book ban and stuff like that. That's not what they're doing as far as the schools. The true book ban, the true book burning is these laws that they're trying to put into effect. You saw what they already did with a couple of the Dr. Seuss books. They took them off the market. That is an actual book ban. When you put books into grammar schools that, show sexuality, discussing things that, kids shouldn't even be seeing at that age, and you remove it, and they say, well, they're banning the books. It's not a ban. It's removing it from the curriculum. It doesn't belong in that curriculum. You as a parent can go out and buy it for yourself. You can right now buy those books. All those books they say they're banning it. You could go out and ban them. But you have people out there that are trying to shut down some of these books. Like I said, the Dr. Seuss book, the couple of those books, they're unavailable. If you could find them, you'd be lucky. You're going to pay a lot for it. But they're not printing any more of that book. When you have that happen, that is a book ban or book burning. See the difference? See the difference on that? And this is what they want to do with the internet. They don't realize that basically, they're taking away people's rights. And they say, well, no, we're trying to help people. A lot of them are misinformed. They're misinformed out there. Because there are those who do want to control the internet. And when they tell you that they said, well, we're only getting rid of the pornography, you say, what do you, again, you're saying adult content, you're saying pornography. What do you consider that? What do you consider that? Think about that. So comment, like, share. Hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways, listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop, where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.